Coming up next on Newswatch.
Efforts to push young voters to the polls go into overdrive. Honey for the Heart prepares for another year on the bricks.
And in sports, Ohio soccer had its last game of the regular season when they took on Kent State. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
With the election coming up on Tuesday, some Americans are racing to fill out their ballots. Good evening, I'm Erica King, and thanks for joining us. Yet the polls here in Athens are expected to be fairly empty this time. Nicole Schneider tells us why.
We're here to tell you all about the word vote.
I hope every American will turn out and vote.
We will vote.
Voting is an all-American tradition.
You know you have to vote.
Yet this week's election seems to be lacking real fireworks with Ohio University students.
What election? I don't know very much about what's going on with the election, but I actually just talked to Pat McGee.
Voter turnout is still lowest among the youngest Americans. So 18 to 29-year-olds have historically had and continue to have far lower voter turnout rates than older Americans.
We're always ready for like 100% turnout, which you're never going to have 100%, but you have to be ready for it. But no, I think it's been low in the last couple years.
And it doesn't seem to be reaching 100% anytime soon. Over the past 25 years, Ohio voting amongst registered voters for odd-year elections has only surpassed 50% once, and that was in 1991. But not all voters are even registered to vote. According to the Athens Board of Elections, only about 38,000 voters are registered, which is a drop from their typical 40,000 mark.
It's going to be our goal to get people excited about these elections because they are just as important, if not almost a little bit more important. Because not everyone's going to meet the president, but you can easily meet with the mayor or the city councilman.
Our ballots are actually bigger in the uneven years than in the even years because there's so much on them.
Our hot topic issue this election is issue 3, which is the legalization of marijuana. I think it'll drive student turnout up, especially in a non-midterm or a non-presidential election.
Students have the ability to make an impact with these big ballots, either here or at home.
Students have the choice, and they can vote from here and would vote on issues that had to do in Athens, or they can vote from home.
No, I'm registered back home, but not here. I didn't vote last year, so I don't really know how I'm going to go about voting.
Voting absentee has become even easier now that people can change their address online. But voting on campus only takes a few literal steps.
In Athens, we really have tried to look at students and have precincts where they're available to students.
My polling place is either at Baker or Jeff.
Both the college Democrats and college Republicans help students register to vote and inform them of their party's candidates by tabling here and in front of Baker at least once a week.
The mission of the college Democrats is basically to promote Democratic candidates. Sometimes we'll have the candidates actually there at our table and sort of promote themselves to the voters.
We do a lot of work off the campus for politicians. So I personally work for Senator Rob Portman. It pretty much, if he asks us to do anything, if we can do it, we do it.
This week we'll see if their efforts inspired more votes.
You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
This is Nicole Schneider for WOUB News.
Be sure to stay with WOUB on election night. We'll have the most updated information on all of your local races. The election special will be at 11:30 p.m. right here on WOUB. And we'll be giving you up to the minute race results on our website at woub.org, as well as on the WOUB radio network. Hocking College has fired their spokesperson and eliminated the position after a 7-week investigation. Michael Brown was fired after a review of comments and actions he has made during a rape investigation, according to the Athens Messenger. The investigation is ongoing, according to Athens County Prosecutor Keller Blackburn. Brown was hired July 31st with an annual salary of $80,000. The reward money has increased again in the case of a Chillicothe home invasion robbery. A private crime-fighting group is offering $10,000 for any information leading to an arrest or conviction. The victim was hospitalized with severe injuries. The Village of Albany is asking the court to dismiss the complaint filed against them by Alexander Local Schools. This comes after the school district failed to state a claim where relief can be granted. The motion was filed in Athens County Common Pleas Court Friday. The village and school officials have been in disagreement for months over the village's sewer system being hooked up to a wellness center and bus garage. The case hearing will be on November 5th. The village of MacArthur has a new police chief. Mike Kimberlin will be sworn in tomorrow. He says drug enforcement will be one of the biggest challenges.
The continued problem with the illegal narcotics, of course, pretty much the same as it is in any community around this area, and the crime that goes with that. You hear about the drug problems, and they're kind of the root cause of a lot of the other crimes, such as the thefts and burglaries and things of that nature.
Kemmerling previously served as a deputy for the Vinton County Sheriff's Office. Final presentations are being made for 2015's Honey for the Heart Puppet Parade. The parade will begin at 6 p.m. this Saturday. Puppets will march down Court Street and perform their ceremonial Halloween kickoff at the intersection of Court Street and Washington. From there, the parade will continue to Union Street, make a U-turn, and head back down Court. The puppets are constructed from recycled material. Community members and student volunteers come together to make the puppets come to life. Honey for the Heart aims to create an event for Athens families to enjoy on Halloween.
Let's build a new story for Athens and have students come in and craft and make giant puppets and make this their own story, and then we'll have a giant puppet parade to kick off what is Halloween in Athens and add to in a really beautiful festival and a spectacle of delight.
Honey for the Heart is located at 29 East Carpenter Street.
Good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. We're having a windy afternoon in Athens with winds southwest 9 miles per hour and gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Right now 57 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures across the region are in the 50s, 53, 58 in Ripley, and we are up to 60 in Jackson and 62 in Ironton. We will cool down a bit into the 30s tonight with 39 Columbus, 37 New Martinsville with mostly cloudy skies throughout the night. And I'll have more on your Halloween forecast later in the broadcast.
West Virginia is awarding more than $3 million in community justice grants. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin announced the funding yesterday for 65 programs statewide. Nearly all of the funding is for programs serving victims of sexual assault, domestic violence, child abuse, and other crimes. Some of the money will also go toward funding prevention resource officers in schools. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has distributed a total of $240,000 in grants to 11 different research projects in West Virginia. The money will be used to spread the message about food safety laws, examine agriculture tourism, and establish food conferences. The grants have been issued to help develop production and increase the demand for specialty crops in West Virginia. Marshall University's enrollment and student retention rates have increased this fall. The enrollment is up 2.7%. The increase of 257 students brings total enrollment a little over 13,000. Senior Vice President of Institutional Research and Planning, Michael McGuffey, reports that the retention rate is 78%, which is a 4.5% increase over the past 2 years. And Marshall University is also offering 3 new degree programs. The programs approved by the Marshall Board by governors includes a Bachelor of Arts, degrees in Sports Management, and Master degrees in Clinical and Translational Science and Social Work. These new programs will be offered starting with the fall semester of 2016. Our neighbors in West Virginia beat Ohio this time. West Virginia State Police received the National Award for the Best Looking Cruiser. The American Association of State Troopers will present the award Thursday at the West Virginia State Police Academy and Institute. The association sponsored a contest on Facebook over the summer. Ohio finished second, followed by Massachusetts and Minnesota. China is reforming an age-old law, what the change means for the country's future. Not just the low-key Ben Carson relatively low-key Donald Trump took the stage at the latest Republican debate. Much of it focused on taxes and the national debt. Andrew Spencer takes us through it, coming up when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Republican presidential candidates take the stage for their third debate. CNBC hosted last night's debate. Andrew Spencer reports much of it focused on economic issues.
The Republican frontrunner Ben Carson stayed his low-key self Wednesday night when CNBC moderator Becky Quick challenged Carson on his flat tax rate plan. He argued it would work with spending cuts and economic stimulus.
We have 645 federal agencies and sub-agencies. Anybody who tells me that we need every penny in every one of those is in a fantasy world.
You'd have to cut government by about 40% to make it work with a $1.1 trillion goal.
It's not true.
And it is true. I looked at the numbers.
When we put all of the facts down, you'll be able to see that it's not true. It works out very well.
Uncharacteristically, Donald Trump also kept himself mostly low-key. He directed his only attacks at Governor John Kasich.
He was so nice. He was such a nice guy. And he said, oh, I'm never going to attack. But then his poll numbers tanked. That's why he's on the end. And he got nasty.
Much of the debate focused on money, taxes, and the national debt.
They say there's no bipartisanship in Washington. We have a $19 trillion bipartisan debt. And it continues to grow as we borrow money from countries that do not like us to pay for government we cannot afford.
When Jeb Bush touted his record of cutting taxes, the moderator asked if he would consider a deal with Democrats that would raise taxes $1 for every $10 of spending cuts.
You find a Democrat that's for cutting taxes, cutting spending $10, I'll give him a warm kiss.
Thank you, Governor. Carl?
Carly Fiorina says politicians have talked about tax reform for decades.
There are loads of great ideas, great conservative ideas from wonderful think tanks about how to reform the tax code. The problem is we never get it done.
She says it will take a strong leader to do just that. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
It's House Speaker John Boehner's last day in Congress today. The Ohio native said a teary goodbye to the career he's held for nearly 5 years. His departure comes a day after the House approved a significant budget deal he negotiated with President Obama and congressional Democrats.
I leave with no regrets, no burdens. If anything, I leave the way I started. I'm just a regular guy, humbled by the chance to do a big job.
Proved Boehner's successor today as well. Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan was elected House Speaker today. He will be the 54th House Speaker. House Republicans nominated Ryan yesterday in a secret ballot vote. They chose him over Florida Republican Daniel Webster. The new budget, which eliminates the possibility of a default and decreases the chance of a government shutdown, effectively gives Ryan a fresh start. China is getting rid of its notorious one-child policy. China state-run media reports the country will now allow couples to have 2 children. China says their change is a proactive response to the issue of an aging population. Beijing has already warned the country could be home to more than 400 million people over the age of 60 by 2030. The country of more than 1 billion people instituted the one-couple, one-child policy in the 1970s to control population growth. Critics say the policy led to some government officials to resort to abortions, forced sterilization, adoptions, and heavy fines to enforce the rule. The policy was relaxed last year to allow parents who were the only child in their families to have a second baby. On Wall Street today, stocks fell as Wall Street took in the news that the economy is expected to slow and interest rates are expected to take a hike. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
Windy and chilly conditions tonight, but find out if there will be rain for your trick-or-treaters this weekend when Newswatch returns.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're in giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. Today we got up to 61 degrees and down to 39 for our low, so we are right about average for this time of year. Right now in Athens, we are pretty windy out there with winds southwest 9 miles per hour, but gusts are up to 25 miles per hour, and we are mostly cloudy right now. Temperatures across the region are in the 50s with mostly cloudy skies. We've got 58 in Ripley, 52 Chillicothe, and 53 in Columbus, but we are going to cool down as the night goes on into the 30s. So we're going to have a chilly night, but like I said, this is average for this time of year. We'll be at 36 Chillicothe, 38 Marietta, and 36 Ripley. Will be partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies across the region. Here's here's what's going on across the region. We've had this cold front pushing out of our way. We've got all the rain to our east now, but high pressure is moving in, bringing us dry conditions for tomorrow, but along with the dry conditions, we're also going to have some cooler air with that. And here's a look at your Halloween forecast. We're going to start out, pretty dry, but we do have a chance for some rain showers for the trick-or-treaters. Unfortunately, rain is supposed to, we're expecting some rain around 6 p.m. Saturday night, so definitely bring the umbrellas for the trick-or-treaters. Tonight, 36 for your low. Partly cloudy, like I said, it is pretty windy out there, but winds will decrease as the night goes on. 53 for your high tomorrow. Like I said, that cool air coming in is going to bring us cooler high temperatures for tomorrow, so bring a jacket on your way out to work tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your 7-day. 60% chance for Halloween of rain. Like I said, that'll happen in the afternoon hours. Sunday will still have some of that rain left over, 30% chance, and again Monday a 30% chance of some showers as well. The rest of the 7-day looks pretty nice, 60s for your highs and 50s for the lows. I'll take it over to Justin.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Holbrook. The Ohio soccer team traveled to Kent State today in their last game of the regular season, and that was it for the soccer team. And now, for the first time in 3 years, Ohio field hockey will be represented in the Division I senior game. Keep it here to find out which player will be playing in this year's game. And here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Justin Holbrook. It's been a season to forget for the Ohio soccer team as they came into tonight's game with a 5-12 record. And the Bobcats lost again to close out the 2015 regular season, falling 1-0 to Kent State. The game was scoreless until the 62nd minute when Jenna Hellstrom fired one past Taylor Smith to give the Golden Flashes the only goal of the game. Ohio ends the regular season with a 3-8 MAC record. The Ohio field hockey team will also be wrapping up their regular season this weekend when the Bobcats host Miami. And senior Adele Salmons will be playing in an extra game as she was selected to play in this year's Victory Sports Tour Division I senior game. Salmons is the first Bobcat selected to play in the senior game since 2012. This year's game is on November 21st at the University of Michigan. Over in the pool, the Ohio women's swimming and diving team returns to the Aquatic Center for its first home opener tomorrow at 5. The Bobcats will take on reigning MAC champions and the Akron Zips. The last time the Ohio volleyball team took the court, they lost to Northern Illinois, which snapped their 32-game MAC win streak. Ohio is still in first place in the East Division and will look to get back in the win column when they take on the third-place Miami Redhawks tomorrow at 7. In just a few minutes, TVC Ohio reporter Patrick Klinger will be taking over the Gridiron Glory Twitter account to talk about the Megs Alexander football game this Friday. Be sure to follow Gridiron Glory on Twitter from 7 to 8 and join the conversation by using the Glory15 hashtag. A win over Megs would make Alexander the outright champions in the TVC Ohio, but a win for the Marauders would mean a tie for the top spot in the conference. The Cincinnati Reds may have finished in last place in the NL Central, but a few players were recognized for their excellence on defense. The 3 Reds named as Gold Glove finalists include second baseman Brandon Phillips, third baseman Todd Frazier, and center fielder Billy Hamilton. The Gold Glove Award for each position will be announced after the World Series. And speaking of the Fall Classic, former Cincinnati Red Johnny Cueto pitched in his first ever World Series game last night, and he did not disappoint. Cueto pitched a complete game, allowing just 2 hits and 1 run as the Royals beat the Mets 7-1. Cueto became the first pitcher to throw at least 9 innings and allow 2 hits or fewer since Greg Maddux did so with the Atlanta Braves in the 1995 World Series. The Royals are now 2-0, leading the series, and Game 3 will be coming back to New York at Citi Field tomorrow at 8. Now, last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers dismantled the Memphis Grizzlies 106-76 on their way to picking up their first win of the new season. The Cavs were led by 17 points and 13 rebounds from Kevin Love. Love is coming back from a dislocated left shoulder injury he suffered in last year's Eastern Conference semifinals. The Cavaliers will have their first home game tomorrow night at 7 when they take on LeBron's former team and the Miami Heat. And that should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Erica, back to you.
Thanks, Justin. Star Wars creator George Lucas is giving a helping hand to minority students who want to study cinematography. He and his wife, Melody Hobson, have donated $10 million to the Cinematic Arts School at the University of Southern California. The money will support Black and Latino students in order to boost diversity at the school. Lucas says Black and Hispanic storytellers are underrepresented in the industry, and he wants to help them use their unique experiences to tell stories. The money will be split 50-50 between men and women. That's the largest donation USC's film school has ever received to directly support students. Now, Kaylee, let's look at our final weather.
Thanks, Erica. We're going to cool down to 36 tonight for our low with windy conditions. Here's a look at tomorrow. We're going to stay pretty cool with the high only at 53, but mostly sunny skies are forecasted. And here's your 7-day. We do have a 60% chance of showers on Saturday for your Halloween, so trick-or-treaters, you will want to bring your umbrellas as the rain is expected to start around 6 p.m. Saturday, and we'll have a 30% chance on Sunday as well, and 30% chance on Monday again, and the rest of your 7-day will be in the 60s for the highs and 50 lows. I'll take it back to you, Erica.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Erica King. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.